What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. It is that time of year. It is the international break, specifically the one in October for the United States men's national team against Ecuador and Australia, and I'm hyped. The roster for this camp has just dropped today, and we're going to look at it. We're going to say, who do we think deserves to be here? Who is left out? And who are we really excited to see? I'm really pumped about it. It's a roster that I am personally excited for. Mauricio Pochettino said last camp that this was the last one where he was trying things. So this roster could look a little bit more promising, and it could give us a kind of some insight of what the 2026 World Cup roster could look like. Let's get right into it. All right, so here's the roster. I have it right here for you guys. So I moved a little bit, but we're going to start with the goalkeepers. The first goalkeeper I'm seeing is Chris Brady from the Chicago Fire. Now, let's hear this. I'm not a big follower of the MLS outside of the Houston Dynamo, so I'm not sure a lot about Chris Brady, but for some reason, every single MLS goalkeeper is the same to me. Shot stoppers, but can't really do much in terms of possession and ball distribution. So that's probably the best I can have of him. We have the GOAT, Matt Freese. I say the GOAT because of his penalty performance in the Gold Cup. Anyways, Matt Freese, right now, my personal number one for the United States men's national team. Patrick Schulte, we've seen him get a lot of chances with the men's national team. Always something up with him, either an injury or whatnot, whatever the case may be. But still not mad about that pick. And then the legend, Matt Turner, our old number one, has been recently just lost his form, lost his confidence, whatever has happened in the past. But now Matt Freese has stepped into that number one position. So Matt Turner and Matt Freese are the two guys that I would imagine are fighting for that number one spot in the goalkeeping position. Next up, defenders. Max Arfsten, Columbus Crew. We've seen him a lot. He is a mainstay of Mauricio Pochettino's lineups, as well as guys like Alex Freeman. But before him, we have Cameron Carter-Vickers. And then, like I said, Alex Freeman, which I don't really rate too highly at the moment. Mark McKenzie, which I'm really glad that he's back into the lineup. I think him and Chris Richards is the ideal future center back pairing outside of Tim Ream once he finally retires at some point in his life. Anyways, speaking of Tim Ream, he's also in this roster. Then you have Chris Richards, personally the USA men's national team player that is in one of the best forms out of all of us outside of Christian Pulisic. So love him. Very glad that he's in the side. And a return to the men's national team. I'm so glad he's back. Anthony Robinson, this guy, he was our best player. He was our player of the year last year. Very excited to see him back. And Miles Robinson, I don't have to say too much about Miles Robinson. I'm sure if you've been following the men's national team for some time, you would see the performances that he's been putting in, and they're not great. So I predict he's just going to be a roster spot. Midfield, Brendan Aronson from Leeds United, Diego Luna, Weston McKennie, Aiden Morris, Christian Roldan, James Sands, Tanner Tessman, and Malik Tillman. I would say this is a decent midfield. Of course, we're missing guys like Tyler Adams, Johnny Cardoso. Those two guys are injured or something's going on. No Sebastian Berhalter, which I'm surprised to see, but also happy to see. I don't want Sebastian Berhalter to be in our roster with the midfield players that we have abroad and are just better players, period. So really happy to see most of these guys on the roster, specifically guys like Malik Tillman. He wasn't in the last camp because he was injured. Tanner Tessman's getting another shot, which I'm glad. He's been having some really good performances at Lyon. Brendan Aronson, I've never really rated him very much, but he's been having some decent games with Leeds. And, of course, not the shock, but the surprising one that's back into the lineup is Weston McKennie. He's been out. He was out in the beginning of the summer. He was out in last camp. So him coming back to the squad is big for us because, yes, he's kind of wishy-washy with their squad, but he is better than most of the guys that have been called up recently. So I think that's a decent midfield to bring to this camp. Last but not least, our forwards. Patrick Ajimang recently got his move to Derby County. I don't need to talk about him right now because this is a happy video and I don't want to ruin it. Anyways, Florian Balogun. So this guy, very happy he's in the lineup, first of all. He's been having decent performances with Monaco. Last camp, he showed some glimpses of why he is our starting number 9. No Ricardo Pepi this camp. I believe he's injured still or something along those lines. He just got out of a long injury, so he's probably getting some time to get back into the swing of things. No problem with that. And then Christian Pulisic, Captain America, GOAT. best USA men's national team player of all time. Happy he's here, captain of the squad for now. Tim Weah, good performances with Marseille, Haji Wright with Coventry, and Alejandro Zendejas with Club America. So, okay, I ran through that really fast. Let's kind of talk about what my initial thoughts for this roster is. First of all, I think it's a decent roster compared to the last few that we've seen, because I feel like it's just been that one of the biggest things I've been calling for from Mauricio Pochettino with regards to the USA men's national team is the squad selection or roster selection he's been bringing. I felt like he's been bringing players that are not good enough for the men's national team, and just MLS heavy, which sure, there's players that come from MLS that can develop into really good players in the future, but I don't think in the place that we want to go with the World Cup right around the corner, literally right around the corner, it's coming up faster than you think it is. I just don't see a reason why any MLS player with the lack of quality that they have getting brought up to this team whenever we have players that are much better in their position. So that's my personal take on the squad selection. Now this roster, I think with the players that are out, considering Serginho Dest, who's out with injury, Johnny Cardoso, Tyler Adams potentially out with injury, Ricardo Pepi, those guys can really fill in the spots where I feel like the MLS players have filled in. Like Christian Roldan should not be in this squad until ever, because there's so many more players. But I get it, Tyler Adams and Johnny Cardoso are out, and Christian Roldan is in. I feel like, well, I would hope that this guy is just kind of like we'll just throw him in there. You know what I mean? So that's what I hope players like Max Arston and Alex Freeman and Patrick Ajimang are kind of, that thought process through that is like, we don't really have a person because this person that we wanted was injured, so we're just going to shoehorn these guys in because we've seen them before. So that's what I would hope is the case with Mauricio Pochettino's ideas. Anyways, this is my take on our roster. Like I said, good roster. I think we have some things to look forward to with our starting lineup. I really am excited to see players like Malik Tillman and Christian Pulisic and Tim Weah really start to really develop something. I'm excited to see Antti Robinson back. I'm not sure if he'll start because he's just come back from his surgery recently. Excited to see Chris Richards. I wonder if Mark McKenzie is going to get a look in. So let's just go into this camp with some positivity. We're playing a good opponent in Ecuador, which I'm really excited to play. Australia is not as good, but they're no mugs. They're no one to sleep on, so it's decent competition. I wish a team like this was brought into the South Korea and Japan matches, but that's in the past. Can't worry about that too much. But regardless, I think this is a decent roster. It's not our best roster we could put out, but I mean, from what we have, considering injuries and other things, I think this is a decent roster, and I'm very excited to see what's going to come in this October camp. Let me know your thoughts. Who do you think should have been in this roster that wasn't? What do you think about the people that were involved that have some controversy around them, like Ajimang, like Alex Freeman, like Max Arston, those kind of guys? As always, let's go USA. God bless.